Hello and welcome to Beyond the Gear. This week we're going to go and see Robert John and the Wreck, aren't we?
Oh, indeed, yes. At the Bodega in Nottingham.
Yes. So we will see you there. Coming all the way from Orange County, California, the Southern Rock Quartet formed in 2011 and are currently touring their latest album, Shine a Light on Me, Brother.
Too, just a little bit. No?
We're here with my brother from Robert John and the Wreck. How you doing, man? How's the tour going?
I'm going great, man. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're all right. Happy to be back gigging. You're the first of our rig rundowns. So, to be fair, I don't think it could be a better one because I'm seeing some serious guitar action on the go. What's this one you've got here? Is this your main one?
Yeah, this is the guitar I use for probably about 70-80% of the show. This is actually an Epiphone Firebird that I ordered off a Reverb on a whim and just thought, I wanted to try it out, and man, I was blown away, honestly.
Is it one of the newer Epiphones?
It is. Yeah, so it's the proper neck through construction. For a while they were making them with bolt-on necks, but this is an actual proper neck through with the what is it? I think it's like an 11-piece laminate, all this wood and stuff.
I've been really impressed by the new Epiphones. I feel like they're just miles above where they were.
Yeah. And it puts my mind at ease, too, because I can bring something that's quality and also not trip about having like a $2,500 Gibson. And that was the biggest motivating factor, was like, I would love to get the Gibson Firebird, too, but just especially for the kind of touring we're doing, it's like your gear just gets trashed. And it's like you don't want to bring something expensive if you can help it,
No, that's a really good point, because obviously you boys have come over from the States, so it's a different beast.
Yeah, we're flying with them and putting them in road cases, and they're getting tossed around, who knows what's happening to them. So it's just a little bit of a sacrifice on that end, but yeah, this one's great. All I did pretty much was I did a bit of a setup on it, and I put these Seymour Duncan mini humbuckers in.
Yeah, nice, man.
The stock pickups were fine, but they weren't quite what I was going for tonally. And I had these custom made for me by MJ through a contact of mine that knows her and knows Seymour. Basically, it's just the Firebird mini humbucker style, vintage wind. The kind of low output thing. And through this...
I was just about to ask if the Duesenberg's obviously not stock. I love them trems.
Yeah, it's great, obviously, because I don't have to do anything to the guitar. And if I ever want to go back to stop bar or whatever, I can just take it right off, and it's not doing anything to the guitar. It's super
awesome. It looks great as well, man.
Thank you.
Have you always been a Firebird guy? Is that your go-to, or is it just with this Epiphone you just thought, I'll go for it?
It is now. I was always curious about them, and I always thought they looked cool, and I just never bit the bullet until I got this one, and I'm like, oh man, I kind of got the fever for it now. I want like 8.
Awesome, nice one. Right, let's have a look at it.
Sure. So basically, this one is in standard tuning. Obviously, I use it about 70-80% of the show. This is a SG Special 70s Tribute from 2016.
Yeah, I can remember the run of them.
And what I've done to this one is I've probably changed the pots out on it 5 times, specifically the volume pots.
Right.
It's just really important for me to get the right taper, and I'm always kind of like, I'm not sure, because I play with the volume knobs throughout the set. You'll probably see me, throughout a set, I'm constantly kind of adjusting things in the middle of the song. And then I put these Lawler mini humbuckers.
Oh, I love Lawlers.
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, they're
so nice.
Really, really nice sounding pickups. I love it because it has all the power. I feel like I still have all the power of the Gibson humbucker, but it has this really nice twangy top end that's almost bordering on sounding like a Telecaster in certain instances.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And it has all this clarity for chords and stuff that sometimes you lose with the higher output things. Yeah. And then this is like a Tone Pros, it's a Graph Tech. I can't remember the name of the bridge. It's a Mag something. I like these softer saddles because it prevents.
Yeah, I've not seen them before, man. Yeah.
And then also this where it hits the bridge is actually magnetic.
Right. Okay.
So this kind of when it was astounding to me because my the guy that I have working on my guitars back in California, a guy named the Guitar Doctor in Fountain Valley, and he turned me onto these bridges, and so I ordered one on a whim and tried it out, and it was like, oh my god, like it's like night and day difference. All these overtones and upper harmonics that were not there before. With
I'm well into that, man. That's badass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So I want these on all my what is it? Tunematic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now.
And what tuning do you have this set up for?
Oh, that's right. This is an Open E. I use this for a lot of slide stuff. I like these Ernie Ball Pinky sliders. First of all, because I have tiny child fingers, and second of all, because they're cheap and they don't break. I love glass slides too, but I'm an idiot and I break them all the time.
Especially when you're touring and fucking running around.
It's just very haphazard and chaotic, and I always, if I bring a glass slide on tour, it always winds up breaking, no matter how cautious or careful I am. It just takes one slip up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I lost my custom $20 slide that I had sized.
And you got to go to a guitar shop at 4:45 in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just hard to do. So these ones you can buy pretty much anywhere, and they're, it's basically a glorified, socket wrench or something like that. But it sounds great. It feels really good.
That's all that matters, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. And then on to the final one, the Les Paul.
Sure. So this one's, unfortunately, a lot of people ask me about this, and this one's unfortunately does not get as much use as the others. Mostly just because it's a backup.
Yeah.
We break a lot of strings on stage, or some strings on stage rather. So this is basically just a toss-up between myself and Robert. It has the stock burst buckers in it, and same thing with this. I've changed out the tone and volume pots about.
First thing you do once you've got one you like, and
yeah, about 5 times. This is a 2008 Studio that I got, my parents actually got for me brand new. The only other mods I've sort of done is I kind of tried to make it look like George Harrison's Lucy,
okay.
with the cream there. I always loved the look of that guitar, the red Les Pauls, and then I put these Grovers on it.
Yeah, you gotta get the lock.
I got those on there because of Jimmy Page. And,
cool.
So, yeah.
That's nice, man. How long have you had it? Because the thing that I like about these models, the Studios without the banding, is I find the aging's really classy.
Yeah,
like you can tell, like it's been worn down, it's been loved, and I always like that at Les Paul.
Yeah, this is a great guitar. I mean, I still love playing it. It's just it's for the different kind of stuff we're playing now. It's just not quite as versatile, at least for me, as my Firebird is. I can kind of sneak into the sort of Fendery territory with it.
Yeah, the humbuckers give you so much different variety of tones, and like when we get to the board, the humbuckers just love pedals as well. They're mini humbuckers.
And there are certain songs that I wish I could put this thing down and pick this thing up, but we're trying to, run through the set and be as conscious of time as possible. And I would love to switch guitars every couple of songs just to kind of mix things up, but I wind up throwing this thing on and it just feels so good that I just keep it on.
When you're happy, there's no point changing it. Firebird on and show us your amp.
Absolutely, yeah. So I run 2 amps, obviously.
Yep.
In this rig. This one on top here is a Supro Tremoverb, and these are not mine. These are the rental amps that our touring company, Teenage Head Music, rents to us. But this is my rig that I pick out. I choose to have. So they're.
It's similar to the rig you've got back home.
It's kind of similar to the rig I have back home. I actually want this rig back home now that I've played.
That's nice. I bet you look forward to coming over.
Yeah. So it's cool. The one on top. Let's see if I can hit this mystery switch here. Is the Supro.
Sounds lovely, man. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, and I love that reverb on it. This one,
Do you have the reverb on all the time?
Yeah, on this one I have it on all the time, and then when I switch to the other amp, that's the orange. And I have that set a little bit more dirty.
Very quacky as well.
Yeah. It's a nice contrast because then you put them together and you get this really.
Yes, but you get all the definition that you could, which most people would normally add more gain, whereas you kind of don't need that, you know. But that leads us nicely into the realm of pedals.
Right. Yeah. So I was using this orange amp detonator to switch between them.
And how often do you have them as single amps, or do you have them as both most of the time?
I have them both on probably about 90% of the show. Maybe in like some quieter sections or things like that. When I want to lay back, I want to kind of sit in the mix a little more, I'll switch to one. Or if I'm like hearing something funny, I'll switch to one or something like that. But I pretty much have them both on 95% of the time in the set. And then let's see. This is a JHS. I guess I'm going backwards here, but
yeah, that's cool, man. Just roll.
This is a JHS 3 Series reverb. It's another sort of thing that I bought on a whim, and it just makes for a great sort of extra splash. You know, I just love having reverb, and I initially brought it because I didn't know if I was gonna have an amp with reverb.
Yeah.
And I like just having, you know, even if I turn the reverb off.
It just gives you that flavour, doesn't it? And then if you crank a bit more,
And the thing I love about it too is it's got that pre-delay thing, so it kind of has that extra.
Yeah.
I love pre-delay.
I really like that whole budget line by JHS. I think for what they are, I like particularly for yourself as something of a backup or just to stack on more reverb when you need that ambience. It's just, it works a treat.
It's just versatile, and then the other thing I like too is this decay knob is so.
Oh yeah, that's mad.
So powerful. You can like, it's. You know, it's a nice pad or something like that, you know, if you're trying to like fill time in between songs or things like that.
It was still going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, it's a great little pedal. And then going into that, I have my trusty MXR Carbon copy. I've had this exact pedal for probably about 10 years now. And basically, you know, the way I use it is occasionally, and I'll be jumping down and kind of fiddling with it throughout the set for different things. Basically, I kind of use it for the same thing. If I'm coming out of a solo, I've just gotten addicted to this thing of like, I don't like leaving on just the note and cutting out. I like having like, you know.
Yeah, and let it flow into the next phase. Yeah, that's cool.
It's a bit more of a So I'll do that, or I'll dial it in for more of like a slapback thing. And then the other thing that's you know, always the fun thing with these analog pedals is, you know, you finish a song or something and you're trying to, you know, fill time. So then you just kind of. Something like that.
We love that. Love that.
It's something so that there's not this awkward silence when I'm switching guitars, you know, and there are certain moments in the set where I've got to switch, and it makes for an interesting transition.
It gives a different character as well, because it's hard to transition between songs, and when you can just use that to just add something different, I think that's really cool.
And I'm a psychedelic rocker. I love psych rock stuff, so it's me kind of adding that flavor to the band.
That's cool, man. That's killer.
And then let's see, this one right here is the Supro Tremolo. This is very, very cool pedal. Sounds great.
Oh, that's killer. So you got that link to the DoD expression pedal?
Yeah. So this is just like linked up to this expression pedal with a TRS cable. And
is that just to go between speeds?
Yeah, it's just to find that sweet spot. I also like doing the kind of ramps like a keyboard player would with a Leslie speaker, you know?
Sounds great, man. Sounds good. Complements the amp really well.
It's just fun. And then it has that harmonic motor as well. That
I love a harmonic trem.
Very, very kind of psychedelic.
Yeah, well, you get that tiny bit of modulation in there, don't you? Yeah, it's class.
It's almost like a Univibe, and I have a Univibe pedal back home that I love, but I decided to forego it just to kind of be a bit more utilitarian with the board and the space on there. And then let's see, right next to that is the Tumnus. I just use that as a lead boost, basically.
Is that for volume or gain or both?
Both volume and gain. So while we're talking about that, I'll talk about this Wampler Plexi Drive, which is an amazing overdrive pedal. I absolutely love it. I have that on the whole time, and it just gives a really, really good foundation for the sound. That's more at the beginning of the pedal chain, and so I kind of,
Sounds killer. That's fucking sick. I love stacking drives because I just think it, especially when you're playing live, it just, you can feel the momentum building, and then when you kick it on, you just feel like you've got all that saturation.
Yeah, and then same thing for this fuzz. This fuzz is pretty awesome sounding. It's a basic audio, which is basically, from my understanding, just a guy that sort of makes fuzz pedals out of his garage or something like that. It's kind of more obscure. It's called a Scarab. It's basically a modified tone bender fuzz.
Cool.
And it.
Yeah, that's killer. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
fucking trousers nearly blew off there. That was sick. How does it clean up? Because I know tone benders, they don't have the fuzz face thing, but
it kind of gets a little gated sounding.
Yeah.
So and you just sort of lose a little bit of that top end when you. Kind of gets like a gated sort of sound to it, which is fun too. But I don't have much purpose for that sound at a lot of points in the set, but occasionally it'll.
It's nice to have it when it's
nice to
needed.
have it there, because at least it does clean up a little bit. It doesn't clean up like a fuzz face, but it has its own sort of thing going on.
Cool.
Which is really fun. And then obviously this Plexi Drive.
Yeah. The great thing about the Plexi Drive and the Tumnus in particular is when you're renting amps, I know with the Plexi Drive, it's going to recreate that sound no matter what amps you kind of use, and it's so reliable. Cool, great sound, man. Killer. Then we've got the wah.
The wah pedal. This is just.
Gotta have the wah.
This is just the standard full tone Clyde. So.
Does the job. Sounds beautiful, man. Yeah.
Nice, vintage style wah pedal does the job, and then obviously, just a Boss Wazacraft tuner. Make sure.
Gotta make sure you have the Wazacraft one.
Yeah, I thought about the tuner. I was like, yeah, I should make sure that I can stay in tune.
Awesome. No, great rig, man. I can't wait to hear it live. It's gonna be killer.
And then I guess just as an extra tidbit, I have these Kodiak picks here. They're made by my buddy Greg Atkin in Anaheim, California. It's called Strum and Comfort is the brand, and I use 0.6 millimeter, so kind of a little bit on the thin, medium side.
Awesome. What about strings, just to complete the circle?
This one is 10s. I believe these are Dunlop strings. For the SG, these are GHS boomers, mostly just because it's the only set I know of that comes in sort of an interesting gauge. The A and the D are lighter.
Right, that's interesting.
Which is better for this open tuning. It feels a little more balanced
Yeah.
when you have that increased tension. And then these ones are probably Ernie Ball 11s on the...
Yeah, just good for the backup.
For some reason, I like 10s on my SGs and Firebirds, but 11s on my Les Paul. I don't know why.
No, that's whatever feels right, man.
Yeah.
Killer. That's awesome. Great rig. Thanks for your time, brother. And looking forward to seeing you at the gig.
Of course, man. Thank you very much.
Again at the Bodega in Nottingham with Mr. Robert John of Robert John on the Wreck. How's the tour going, man?
It's going great. Happy to be here.
Fantastic, and we're happy to be here with you as well. Let's go straight for the guitar then. Talk us through this boy. Is the only one you brought out?
Yeah, it's the only one I brought. It's Ernie Ball Music Man Armada. I got it in like 2013. I love this guitar. That's why I bring it out. The only thing I've modded from what's stock is the Graph Tech bridge. And other than that, it's a workhorse. You know, it's solid and it gets me through all the shows and everything like that.
Cool. It's an interesting shape. Probably what I'd be surprised with your style of music to have this sort of vibe. What took you to picking it out?
Well, we won this Best Live Bands in Orange County in 2013, and part of the prize-winning package was a guitar from Ernie Ball. I knew they just came out with these pretty recently. And so I actually asked if they could do this kind of like a grayish grain on it.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Which at the time they didn't really do, so they kind of made that nice and custom. And Ernie Ball's been great with everything from strings to guitars. So you know, it's just comfortable.
Yeah, man.
It's not too big, it's not too small. It just kind of gets me through.
That's nice. I like the inlays and I like the binding around the bridge. It's nice that you've got your own individual thing as well, because not many people are rocking these. Cool. Let's have a look at the amp. I don't know if you want to plug in and make some noise. It's completely up to you.
Yeah, this is a Black Magic. It's a Supro. Black Magic Supro. And
great amps. It's based on the Jimmy Page sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's what I use out here for everything I do. So
it's similar to what you use back home, or?
Yeah, I mostly use like an AC30 AC15 back home, and on the past few European tours I've used an AC30, but for this tour it just happened to be this one.
Yeah, no, it's nice you got the choice, man.
I don't think I'm tuned yet.
Some good use of the tuner. Yeah.
Cool. But so without anything.
Sounds nice.
But and then I only have 3 pedals. I'm very simple.
No, that's good.
I have this full drive by full tone, and I keep that on the whole entire time. So it gives me a little bit more grit.
Sounds nice.
Fat Boost full tone, which I use whenever I do guitar harmonies with Henry. It just gives it a little bit more. And then a tuner, you know. So
that's all you need, man. No, they seem to complement each other well. I think if you've got 2 complicated rigs, they can end up just blending into one sound. You know.
I keep it as simple as possible. I mean, I'm rhythm, and
you got enough to worry about.
Support the lead, so.
Sounds good, man. Can't wait to hear how it all comes together in the set. It'll be good.
Yeah, we're excited.
Thanks for your time, brother.
To my left, Mr. Steve Major on the keys. On my right, Mr. Henry James on guitar. Holding down the bass, Mr. Warren Mill. And holding down those drums all night, Mr. Andrew Estella. We are called Robert John the Wreck. Thank you guys so much for this evening. We'll see you